Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Josie's Point of View, where we focus on human interest stories from the Carolinas and beyond. Today's Sunday and it's January the 12th, 2025. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new to my channel, I want to thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you find the information here to be informative. And if you're a return viewer, by all means, thank you for coming back. I always say the tide changes so frequently here on these YouTube streets. So you always have to acknowledge where your support comes from. And I want you to know I sincerely thank you for your support. Feel free to like and to share this video. And don't forget to subscribe. Now, over the Christmas holidays, I began to notice something different with the news reports. There seemed to be a lot more women being discussed in association with violent crimes, particularly murder and attempted murder. Now, being an advocate for the rights of women and someone who's not afraid to speak out against violence against women, I decided to take a closer look because I wanted to verify whether some of the worst offenders of crimes against women were other women. And hence the title of my video today. I'm trying to answer the question, are more women committing violent crimes in North Carolina? I'll provide you with a summary here, and I'll identify some of my sources for you in the description box. So come take a ride with me, ladies and gentlemen. Let's ride through the streets of North Carolina, city by city. Let's take a ride and see what women have been doing over the Christmas holiday. We're going to look at the period beginning December 23rd and ending on January the 6th. And for this story, we'll stop at Mount Airy, North Carolina, where the headline read, North Carolina mother charged in 14-year-old son's death. The date of this reporting was December 23rd, 2024. Police say this woman, 34-year-old Kimberly White, was charged with first-degree murder and felony child abuse in the death of a 14-year-old son. Now, police say the child died from blunt force trauma to his chest and his torso. He died earlier in December, and initially, this man right here, his stepfather, had been arrested and charged with first-degree murder. He was also charged with domestic violence and assault on a female and some other charges. I guess police decided to arrest both adults in the home. First it was the stepfather, and now it's the mother. She's been charged with first degree murder as well as child abuse. I did not see any information on bond. So now let's travel to Elizabeth City here in North Carolina, and the date of this reporting was December the 26th, 2024. And the news headline read, Woman charged with second-degree murder after domestic assault. And police say they responded to a nearby emergency room after they were notified that a male victim had appeared with gunshot wounds. When police arrived, they were then notified that the 36-year-old victim had died from his injuries. And as a result of their investigation, police discovered that the victim was shot during a domestic altercation with his wife. And they arrested his wife, this woman, 35-year-old Tanise Griffin Bell. She was arrested and charged with second-degree murder. Initially, she was denied bond, but at a follow-up court appearance, she was issued a bond of $1 million. And now, travel with me to the neighboring town of Linden, North Carolina. And the news headline read, Mother shoots and killed daughter during an altercation in North Carolina. And the date of this reporting was December the 28th, 2024. And based on the police report, they responded to a call at this particular residence in Linden regarding a domestic dispute between a mother and a daughter. When police arrived, they found one woman dead inside a vehicle in the driveway of that home. The deceased woman was identified as 23-year-old Tiffany Crosby. Upon further investigation, it was revealed that a physical and verbal altercation had taken place between the 45-year-old mother and her 23-year-old daughter, both of whom lived at that residence. And during that dispute, the mother shot and killed the daughter. And as a result of the investigation, police arrested and charged 45-year-old Victoria Crosby. She was charged with murder. Initially, she was denied bond, but at a follow-up court appearance, she was issued a bond of $1 million. Now, let's move on up to Durham, North Carolina, where the news headline read Durham woman charged with murder after allegedly strangling boyfriend days before. And the date of this reporting was December the 30th, 2024. And police say this 35-year-old woman was charged with murder in the death of her boyfriend following a domestic assault. Police say Patricia Ayers placed her boyfriend in a chokehold, causing him to lose consciousness and to have brain swelling. That must have been some strong chokehold. Earlier in the month, when the incident first took place, she was charged with domestic violence and felony assault by strangulation. However, when the victim died, those charges were upgraded to murder, and she is now being held on a $2 million bond. And now let's move on over to the town of Hope Mills, and where the news headline read Wife charged with murder of 66-year-old husband, and the date of this reporting was December the 30th, 2024. And police say they initially went to the home in Hope Mills in response to a request for a wellness check. And when they arrived at their home, they found the owner, the male owner, the 66-year-old man. They found him deceased, and the manner of death was by a gunshot wound. And shortly thereafter, police say that his wife, Tammy Rutkowski, age 61, she was arrested in Baltimore, several states away. She was arrested in Baltimore and charged with first-degree murder, and she's currently being held in the Baltimore County Prison, awaiting extradition back to North Carolina, and no bond has been assigned. And for the next case, we'll travel to Concord, North Carolina, where the headline read Concord woman charged with murder in her niece's death. And the date of this reporting was December the 31st, 2024. And according to the information released by the public, the police department say they responded to a home in Concord regarding a call of a domestic situation involving family members. When they arrived, they found a 22-year-old woman who had been stabbed. Unfortunately, she was pronounced deceased at the scene. The name of the deceased woman was never identified. And as a result of their investigation, police then arrested this woman, 41-year-old Century Colborn, and charged her with first-degree murder. Now, initially, she was denied bond, but at a follow-up court appearance, she could be granted bond. And then again, the woman who was stabbed to death was allegedly her niece. And now, let's drop it back to Raleigh, where the headline read Raleigh woman arrested, accused of trying to murder a child, and the date of this reporting was December the 30th, 2024. Police say this woman, 29-year-old Makisa Jones, was arrested, and the warrant shows that she's accused of placing her child in a chokehold and pointing a gun at that child. We don't know exactly how old that child is, but you teenagers, y'all better be paying attention, because I don't know if we have any old school folks listening to me, but back in my days, I remember Mama saying, I don't care how big you are, I'll cut you down to my size. And she'd say, I bring you into this world, but I'll take you out. And she would grab them boys by their head and put them under her arm and discipline them. Back then it was called discipline, but today it's child abuse. But I'm just saying, I don't know if that's a fact, but I'm just referring back to what I saw when I was growing up. But let me get back to the story. So back to the story, Jones is accused of really torturing that child. They said she's accused of multiple episodes of physical, psychological, and emotional abuse that caused the victim to have post-traumatic stress disorder. That's really, really bad. They said she's been charged with first-degree attempted murder, assault by strangulation, assault by pointing a gun to a child. They say she has a very long criminal history, and it dates back to over a decade, and her bond has been denied. And now let's move on back up to Elizabeth City in North Carolina, where the news headline read Elizabeth City woman arrested after allegedly stabbing a man, and the date of this reporting was December the 30th, 2024. Now, police say this 27-year-old woman, Felicia Hickson, she stabbed a 29-year-old male, and she stabbed him multiple times. That he had to go to the hospital. His condition is unknown, but Hickman has been charged with felony assault with a deadly weapon, and she remains in jail because her bond has been denied. And early in the morning of January the 3rd, police arrested this woman for just firing a firearm, firing a gun into a crowded street in Wilmington, North Carolina. Luckily, police were close by, no one was injured, and they were able to find her still holding that weapon. Now, she was charged and she was given a $10,000 bond, but this could have been a lot worse if police was not around. And let's travel on back to Durham, North Carolina, where the news headline read Mother Charged with Shooting Her 4-year-old Child. And the date of this reporting was January the 6th, 2025. Police say this 24-year-old woman, Bentesia Sowell, they said she shot her 4-year-old child with a rifle. Investigators said this was not an accident. It was other than accidental means. The child's liver, kidney, spleen, and stomach, all on her right side, were affected. Bentesia Sowell appeared in court yesterday. She has been charged with felony child abuse with serious bodily injury and assault with a deadly weapon. And I did not see any information on bond. Hopefully, bond was denied. And finally, let's return to Charlotte, North Carolina, where the headline read, the news headline, Women Arrested for Murder in Charlotte, North Charlotte, Deadly Shooting. And the date of this reporting was January the 6th, 2025. And police say this woman, 35-year-old Sabrina Roth, was arrested and charged with murder. They say she was one of two people who robbed a man in the parking lot of a Charlotte hotel, and that man was shot and he died from his injuries, so she was charged with murder. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. A large number of women were committing the most violent crimes in our state over the Christmas holiday. It was troubling to see that so many of them were being charged with murder or attempted murder. And I'm wondering why no one is really talking about it. And in most cases, the weapon used was the handgun. I would hate to think that we now have to start protecting women from violent crimes being committed by other women. That would really be devastating. Now, keep in mind there were many other arrests, many other women who were arrested for other crimes, but I limited my focus to the most violent crimes, which was the murder and attempted murder. Now, the question we need to ask is whether this was simply isolated to a sharp increase in violence due to the holiday weekend, or whether this is a trend, whether this is a new norm for us here in North Carolina. Well, we'll revisit this topic later in the year, and we'll see how things turn out. And that's all I have for you right now. Feel free to leave me a comment below and let me know what you think about this video. And by all means, feel free to like it and to share it. And if you haven't done so already, I want to invite you to subscribe to my channel by clicking on that red subscribe button. It's on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. And if you click on the bell that looks just like this one, that's the notification bell. If you click on that notification bell, you'll be the first to know whenever a new video is uploaded. I thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.